You know, I had my experience in Tibet, but a few years before that, because I have a lot of these, wow, for me, they're big things, maybe for someone else not. Because I think we get revealed what each one of us needs when we need it to put pieces of the puzzle of our models of reality together. And I had a deep experience of the revelation of my light body. And your light body is the energy matrix that creates then the chakra system and the meridian system around which molecular structure will vibrationally gather. And we know that because we're 99.9% space in each atom, that we're not actually solid, we just appear solid. So for me, I had this experience of the revelation, experiential revelation of what I call the templates in the light body. And I notice we have a template of perfected health. So you can code, you can program, talk lovingly, always has to be lovingly, as the master, the formlessness that lives in this temple. See, to treat this system, the biosystem, as a temple, a magnificent temple, we treat it with love. So we can command lovingly that the molecular structure of your whole body realign itself back to the template of perfected health. And if you do it enough and your body feels loved and that the master is in, you can recalibrate yourself back to health quite quickly. You have a template, what I call the hall, it's like a hall of communion, where you can experience telepathically and meet with beings that aren't of this realm at all. They're coming in from different star systems now. They come in from the ascended master realms. They're coming in from many matrices to support what's happening on Earth. And they'll just pop into your field. But to me, the secret is take yourself into the field of love. Go with absolute surrender, no agenda, and allow the field of love to gift to you what you are ready to handle. Because the body of light can just blossom like a lotus, blossom. You know, you got to feed it like a seed, like soil that you fertilize, and you plant a seed and you feed it by your intention and your lifestyle and how you spend time. And then it grows and oh, there's a leaf, oh, yum. And then it grows, oh, there's a nut, and there's a flower. And finally, your body of light has blossomed fully. In other words, it's revealed to you all the gifts you carry. And I call that the revelation of the freedom matrix, that we have this freedom matrix. It's part of our wiring. We're hard-coded into this grid, into this web of one. And we all have the freedom matrix within. And when it's fully blossomed, we're free. We have no physical hunger, we have no emotional hunger, we have no mental hunger, we have no, spiritual hunger. We're just in awe. We're really in this state of being able to love all sentient life. You meet a human being, you look at 7.5 billion people on the planet, you go, I just love you. I just love you. I just love you all. I just feel nothing but love for you, because you can't feel anything else, because you can sense that everyone is this beautiful divine spark that has dropped into that particular form for their own, for many reasons, which is another discussion again. So I just love the exploration of the magnificence of the human design and the revelation of all the zones within the body of light, and the revelation, the full blossoming of what I call the freedom matrix. And it's just a science. You do A, B, C, D, it's going to happen eventually.
It sounds like we are like floating on a river or an ocean of love. And if you just reduce our fear, we can just melt in this ocean, and then we see, oh, I'm not a drop, or I'm not a body, on this ocean. I'm the ocean, sort of. Yeah. So Yeah.
Yes.
I see. Yeah.
Totally. You discover that you're not form or confined to form, that you are this essence ocean vibrating as formlessness through that form, and that same ocean that vibrates through me vibrates through you. So on another level, you and I are one. We are one. At our core level, we are all just sparks of the divine experiencing different human form. But you get out of the separateness, that's like a human and a human. And it's like a leaf on a tree. I always say to people, it's like most people are educated or conditioned in Western society to be so individualized that I believe it when I see it, and it's all left brain logic, and I am an individualized, I am a leaf on a tree, that's it. And you're being blown by the winds of change, and sometimes life's great, sometimes, it's not. And when you start the stillness, the stasis, the meditation, the unhooking from that, and you open to sense more, then you feel that you're not just the leaf, you're the branch, and you're not just the branch, you're the trunk, and you're not just the trunk, but you're the root system, and your root system is connected to the root system of every other tree, and on that level we are completely unified and in that state of oneness. And it's beautiful because you feel like you're just part of this magnificent matrix of support that comes to you externally and internally, and you have the internet and you have the inner net, and life becomes the most joyous journey of exploration.
Nice. Yeah. So you already answered the question with that, which I had. How would you define yourself? So I would hear from you that you would say you're the leaf, but you're also the tree of life. So you're the whole universe, and you're a woman, of course, in a human body, a soul which is evolving as well. So it's all in one, yeah. And you don't separate the things, and you don't definition. You don't make a definition of yourself. Just if you when you say I'm this, I'm only this. Is that kind of correct?
Well, I've been meditating for 50 years. I love meditation. I love silence, stillness. I live on a mountain in a high chi field. And with the pandemic now, I get so much silence and quiet time because I'm not traveling anymore. I've spent 27 years on the road, 6 months of every year. So that's gone. And I get a lot of silent time, and I'm really enjoying it. And my children are grown and my grandchildren are grown. And, I'm at that point in life where I'm not that needed, by family, and I have more time to explore, and I really am just loving formlessness. But I notice consciousness is elastic. So I can look in the mirror and I can go, look at this body, it's getting older. Or I can look at, on the news and go, oh, look what's happening around the world on that level. But they're just fields of reality that as soon as you focus on, they can just bring you right in. They can almost mesmerize you, or you can step back. And meditation regularly gives you the ability naturally of detachment, because you can't try to not be something. You either are or you aren't. But you can release an energy from within you by your focus on it that changes your very core. And meditation does that. So you become more detached. And then you act in life rather than react in life. And you can just see the holographic nature of creation. And then you, in your mastery, choose which hologram you want to step into, how deeply and why you want to step into it as well. But sometimes life comes and gets you and sucks you right into a hologram, like, and then you might feel a bit out of balance because we're all human. We are divine, but we're human. And then, you just realize, I'm a bit unstable, or maybe I stepped too deeply into a reality someone else has created. And often you get caught up because they're people you love and you care about, and maybe it's family or friends, and you can see maybe they're in a reality that is creating great suffering for them, and your heart of compassion just goes, I want to help, or I wish I can wave a magic wand so they don't have to go through that. But then I know that all these challenging times give people many gifts, give them great wisdom and give them virtues. And sometimes we have to go deep into these sorts of realities to really experientially understand and fully embody something that we couldn't do without diving in deep. So we are different, like there are times we're very human. There are times we feel vast, expanded consciousness if we're metaphysicians and we like the meditative journey. We have different experiences. If you're connecting with someone you love, then there's times you're that lover. You're totally identifying with the physical loving. There are times you might pick up a baby and it's, maybe a grandchild or a child, and then you're fully in that mother love and nurturing and the wonder of this new soul coming in. And I like the fluidity, but to keep it fluid, because we are not that. And Western society and Western education models like to say, you are male, you are female, or whatever. Like a lot of friends and I have been talking about non-binary. People have been using these labels. And when I heard it, I went, oh, that's me. And all my friends would say, oh, yes, that's me. And we're women in our 60s, 70s, 80s. And we've never identified as being male or female. We happen to be in female form, but we've always just felt like we're just beings in this particular body. And when we meditate and drop out of that and dissolve more to formlessness, we are neither. Again, we're androgynous. This energy has no label on any level. And it's nice to be label free too.
Yeah, I think that's very important, like to step out of this black and white thinking and to make a definition of yourself which maybe narrows your own spirit and narrows your own exploration of the consciousness. So you're not only believing in a higher power, you're sort of melted into this higher power. That's what I hear. But I have to ask this question. I'm very sorry, but do you believe in God? Because from my point of view, this is my personal experience as well. If I talk to Christians, my little sister is a Christian and I love her to pieces, but it's always like the problem that I don't believe in Jesus like she does. And so the believing systems, even if like when I go to church with her, like the church is full of love and full of nice and powerful energy, and I just love these people and I love the church, but I wouldn't would say I'm a Christian. So I always see that this is like the point where it doesn't match, And one of my targets in this masterpiece project is that we make it more smoother, then Christians can be a little bit more talkative to the esoteric movement, and the esoterics can open up maybe a little bit more for the Christians. So what is your point of view on that? Like, do you believe in God, or what is God for you, if I may ask?
I'm a great believer in diplomacy. One of the things that I do when I'm connecting is I ask to connect essence self, pure self to pure self, and so that all our sharing is for our highest good, the highest good of the person I'm talking to and the highest good of myself. And I've also got this code because I think we're very computer-like in a way, and so you can program the fields, the unified field. So you set the intention for mutually beneficial relationship with friends, with family, with all networks, and you ask for diplomacy. And then you find that you say the right things at the right time in the right words, no matter who you're talking to, whether it's Christian, Buddhist, or anything like that. You just find the ability to share in the right language because you're interested in not creating separation. You're interested in unity and harmony, so you get the support to do that. I mean, I have no idea. I've never met a singular entity, even though I did a painting once of this, of a long bearded person creating things in 7 days. I've never had that experience, so I can't comment. But I have had experience of melting into a vibrational frequency of the purest love that I could only describe as divine. And I've seen my whole body, my third eye, explode till everything disappeared and all I was in was pure light. And in the light, there was a wisdom that spoke to me and has been doing that my whole life. And that's been my experience, that there's a vibration that is everywhere, in everything, in everyone, in that 99.9% space that is around us, that is so loving and so wise. And my greatest joy is it's benevolent. It is so benevolent. And it's like it just, in its endless love and wisdom and power, it just seems to take care. Like when someone's in need, like I've been in my very deep in human time, when I've had big challenges in life and I've literally been on my knees in prayer going, oh, help, how do I deal with this? You know, maybe somebody I loved had died, or just lots of things all coming at once. And then I've just heard very clear guidance of how I needed to deal with it. And I applied the guidance and my whole life changed. And I just find that people seem to receive exactly what they need when they need it. And that there is this, I can only call it divinely loving presence that is breathing us. I feel it is part of us. It's a very pure part of us, but I feel it as what I call the baseline of creation. So in scientific higher light science terms, I call it baseline. I call it the baseline beat. And we say to people, go back to baseline, relax back to baseline, drop back to baseline. And baseline is this frequency of love, wisdom, and when love and wisdom are combined, you have power. And that power can just bring great change. But love without wisdom is not enough. And wisdom without love is not enough. But when they come together, they form like a holy trinity with another leg of power. And so as we go back to baseline, and baseline dominates this biosystem, we just operate in a very different way and experience a very different reality individually and collectively. You know, and Jesus said there would come a time where two would be walking along a road and one would be taken and the other left behind. I interpret that as one just vibrated off that field, you know, just its frequency just shifted and it just virtually disappeared. And there's stories that Jesus, you know, might have been being mobbed or whatever, and suddenly he just disappeared and they saw him walking over a hill, almost like he dematerialized and rematerialized. Did he just change zones? You know, it's interesting, but I tend to not comment on things I haven't personally experienced because I don't know. But I do know that when enough people believe in something to be true, it's brought into reality in a parallel world, which then infuses into this world because that's what they believe to be true.
So as a practical tip, what I get from your words is like if someone is very separated in his consciousness and is thinks in black and white and good and bad and need his borders and boundaries, you can just go into the oneness and talk about from this point of view, like without borders and without this narrow beliefs, and then you might lift him up a little bit to help him to come out of this black and white point of view on this world.
Our work has always been pragmatic, you know. It's not my presence doing anything. We just like to stimulate people with good techniques to experience it themselves. And we have simple, you know, like a slow in-breath. I am, and you imagine breathing in the purest love that's vibrating through the baseline, not just oxygen, but pure love. And I am on the inhale, and pure love, relax into that as if it's in an ocean that you're relaxing into. And if you chant this over and over every day, you name, you claim, you become. We call it name it, claim it, be it. So the first part of this pure divine you, essence you, enlightened you, is love. And so you claim, I am pure love. And then I am infinite, because this energy is infinite. It has no beginning, it has no end. And that's part of opening to your multidimensional self nature that is infinite. And I am eternal. And that codes the cellular structure and slows the aging process right down and revitalizes your system, because it reminds your cellular structure of this eternal energy that's washing through it, this infinite energy that's washing through it, this love energy. So you recalibrate your whole biosystem just by these three things. I am pure love, I am infinite, I am eternal, and you transcend spiritual traditions. You transcend realities of separation, and you go into experience, because at our baseline, we are all beings of pure love, whose energy is infinite and eternal. And a drop of that expresses itself in this little clothing, for me in this life, if a woman, and for you in this life, as you are, and all the other seemingly different forms on earth. But we're all pure love, we are all infinite beingness, and we are eternal, all of us, in the purer levels, the roots of the tree, not the leaf.
Yeah, and so, of course, that's where we come from and where we ride in, if you feel it or not. So maybe the whole human mankind leads to this as well, that more and more people experience this, what you're experienced and just told us with your words. And so do you think that like this is an evolution, a progress, that more and more people are kind of waking up or like feeling this sort of internal love and dive into this sort of field, and then we are more than one than we are now?
I think the human heart is hungry. I think we've used free will to create many realities, individually and collectively. I think we've explored the reality of duality for eons of time. We've created war, we've created poverty, we've created chaos, we've created corrupt political systems. We've been playing in that field with our energy in very interesting ways for a long time. And I think many people are like, oh, I'm done. Can't we do something else? And, you know, it's not that you're running away. It's just you've done it, you know. And after a while, humans get a bit bored with the same old. And I think a lot of people are just like, they don't find it interesting anymore, you know, to support the games of fear and separation and dominance and power and, you know, the money going over here and these people having not enough and, you know, over here a lot, or the games of control and patriarchal systems that don't honor the totality. Like, I love systems where right brain, left brain are in harmony. So we're in a marriage of logic and intuition, because both brains offer different gifts, both hemispheres. And when we come into a unified state, because for me, I think we just stimulate the pineal gland to produce more DMT, which it naturally does. We stimulate the pituitary gland to produce more amrita, which is what the ancients talk about. And the vibration going through left, right brain hemispheres sets up a different dynamic. We go from beta frequency, which is the dual-natured world, through the alpha frequency zone to the delta and so forth. And then the physiology of the body is different. So people are feeling the effects, you know, they're going, oh, I know we can do better. I know, you know, I don't feel like I'm operating at my best version self. My heart's empty. I want more. I want quality time with quality people. For example,